normally when you're running a smaller scale advertising operation, you're not going to be working with a large scale agency. Meta, TikTok all have their own self-service tools that a smaller business could either work with a smaller local agency to execute against, or could also oftentimes take that in-house and have them run it themselves. Find that millennial, find that Gen Z kid on your staff that is more savvy than you are maybe, and have them take up your social media operations.
Welcome to People at Pyramid, a weekly podcast that introduces you to your fellow Pyramid Club members. My name is Vince Quinn, the Content Studio Director, and I'm here to showcase the stories of your fellow members, explore the ways that they can help you and your network, and make it easy for you to connect. With that, let's meet our next member.
Hey members, I'm Nishant Desai. I work in digital advertising. I've been a member of the Pyramid Club for about 4 years.
And let's talk about that digital advertising experience. So,
Absolutely.
First off, just an overview of the kind of work that you are doing in digital advertising.
So I work for WPP Media, which is one of the larger advertising holding companies in the industry. I specifically focus on digital marketing. So everything from ads on websites, those annoying interstitials that you may see on your mobile device, things that are interstitials between videos and connected TV, and then things like digital billboards, anything that's interconnected digitally, we kind of dabble in.
Yeah, and so for you specifically, day to day, what does some of that kind of work look like? What are you most getting your hands on?
Yeah, so I head up our workflow and automation team. And so a lot of what I do is taking all the various platforms that we work across. It's a number of acronyms, so like DSPs, SSPs.
Love our acronyms.
Yeah. So all of those systems need to pass data back and forth to make that ad actually appear on your screen. So my team handles passing all of the interconnections of that data, passing one from one system to the other, making sure that the data is accurate across different platforms, and making sure that advertisers ultimately are getting data on where their ads are serving and how they're performing.
Yeah, and obviously data is, as much as I've been talking to a lot more advertising people lately, data is everything, really. The
Absolutely.
quality of that information,
Yep.
how you harvest it and how you're analyzing it and applying it to your next campaign. I mean, so like, what is the level of sophistication of data, just generally speaking, the kinds of layers of data that you can get?
It's huge. So we deal in probably petabytes, so several levels
I've
higher.
never even heard that word in my life. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Not just gigabytes of data, like large structures of data that are being passed from one place to another. And like the scale of the data is huge, and a lot of what we struggle with, like day to day, and what a lot of my team works with, is making sure that that data is accessible. And now that we look at like AI tools and an agentic future, that the cleanliness of that data is more and more important, and being able to access it quickly and reliably is also very top of mind.
Yeah, and so obviously when you're doing all of this kind of work, these are these big businesses, big campaigns, all these different ways of getting the word out. And I know for a lot of people around here at the club, might be a smaller business, even a solopreneur. So I want to scale it down a little bit then and get some insight from you. Because let's say, all right, I'm a small business owner. I'm looking to get started in advertising. On some level, I've just been gun shy to do it.
Yep.
I don't even know where to begin. Like, how should I start thinking about advertising for my business?
Sure. So normally when you're running a smaller scale advertising operation, you're not going to be working with a large scale agency. So you're not going to have the same access to the personnel, but there's a lot of self-service tools that are offered through the social and search platforms themselves. So things like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, TikTok all have their own self-service tools that a smaller business could either work with a smaller local agency to execute against, or could also oftentimes take that in-house and have them run it themselves, either through a couple hours every night, or have someone like on staff dedicated. Find that millennial, find that Gen Z kid on your staff that is more savvy than you are maybe, and have them take up your social media operations. The tools that they offer are really great, and your budgets can be very small. So you can often spend, less than $100 to get a message out. And it's pretty straightforward. They have a great suite of tools and a great suite of reporting to see, what you should buy. And now that they're also integrating AI tools in, makes it easier than ever to figure out what you should buy and when.
Yeah, and so with that, I mean, obviously that's the biggest thing, right? Is like what platforms you're using, how much you're investing in all of this stuff, and on some level, just segmenting your audience, right? Like being able to just choose, okay, these are the right kinds of people. And I think one of the big issues that people get is they don't want to cut people out. Right? It's, oh, but I want to get everybody the work.
Right.
I mean, like, as you've seen it, I'm sure with these big companies, the level of specificity for who they're targeting must be like incredibly precise.
Absolutely. We deal a lot in like privacy and regulations, right? So it's like they want to be super precise, but you also have rules about how specific you can get. And this is really important in places like pharmaceuticals where there are what we call sensitive conditions that you're not allowed to target. So, if you have a certain condition or a certain set of symptoms, you may not necessarily be able to target those signals for a specific symptom because
Yeah.
it can be a little touchy. So the specificity is really key. But you can't be too specific, but you want to tune it in, right? So, and budget is plays a huge factor here. So if you only have $100 to spend, you want to target the users most effectively, and that may not be the targeting everybody may not be the best strategy, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to say like if you have a store or a specific service set, you want to target those specific users that are in market for those specific services or are in a general vicinity of your store.
Yeah, because I mean, especially when you're on a tighter budget, you're looking to get more out of it, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I
Yep.
mean, one, appreciate it is an investment because ideally you're doing this to get more people to buy, which means you've gotten return on that, and you're going to do it to the people who are most ready to buy. So yeah, like
100%. Yep.
simplify it, tighten it up, and believe in that. But with all of this, let's talk about something that's way more important. Legos, okay? So
Yep.
getting ready for this conversation, you mentioned Legos multiple times. So explain to me your relationship with Legos.
My relationship with Lego started, so I'm 41, so I guess it started about 40, 39, 38 years ago, something like that. With a big box of just random bricks that, I think had been passed down over several generations of like, I think it was my cousin's set originally, and then they added some. So I got a big box of Legos, when I was very young, and I would spend hours, using my imagination. There weren't instructions. The instructions had been lost or thrown away. So, just like using my imagination to build random objects, spaceships, cars, whatever I could think of. And it kept me occupied for hours. In my teenage years and my early adulthood, I kind of got away from it a little bit. And then my cousin had a kid, who is now 16, 15. And I started buying Lego sets for him, and it got me back in the hobby myself. So there's a group of I guess enthusiasts, right? Adult fans of Legos. AFOLs is like the official term.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so adults and Lego as a brand has really leaned into this as well. This segment, so they have a couple of different series sets, right, that are specifically adult focused. And yeah, I find it extremely relaxing. I spend a lot of my day doing like hard math in my head, like, doing like actual like deductive reasoning. And I find it extremely relaxing at the end of the day to like just look at a set of instructions or pictures. It's like assembling IKEA furniture. Right.
Yeah.
So it's all picture based so that it's kind of universal. You don't need to read instructions. But I find it extremely relaxing to just like kind of look at a picture and like click bricks.
Yeah, no, it is such a good thing. And one, you want to fidget with your hand, right?
Yeah.
Like it's something to do instead of having your phone and scrolling.
Yeah.
I think that's a good win.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, Legos like that. We got gifted for. So I got married about a year ago at this point.
Okay.
And one of the things that we got as a gift from somebody was a little Lego set. It was like the car from Harry Potter that gets crashed. And
Yeah.
it's Ron and Harry, and like there's a rat. Oh, it's a whole thing. So we have this little set, and just to sit down and like watch a show that I'm kind of plugged into, but kind of not, and just building something. And you get a cool thing, a decorative thing. I
Yeah.
mean, I know people, and I'm friends with people who they build these things like elaborate houses and flowers, like a full vase, and it's like 3 feet tall.
Yep.
Captain America's shield. Like there's all these cool things, big projects. And I mean, it could take some time to get those done.
Yeah, they have like Lego actually has a whole segment now that's like they have like botanicals, which are like different flowers, but they also have like art, which is like they have a world map that I think has several thousand like individual little dots that are like a dot that you use to make a dot map, right? So like, days, weeks of work there, like if you really needed to. Yeah, but like I actually got married 3 months ago now. And
Congratulations to you.
yeah, on our cake, thank you. Our cake topper was actually a Lego bride and groom. So,
Nice.
like weaving it in through all aspects of life.
Yeah. So, do you have anything then with all these things that you've built? Are there any things that you're particularly like really happy with? Really enjoyed building?
I've had to limit what I buy just so I don't like, go bankrupt buying all
So
these.
you maintain the marriage, right?
Yeah, okay. So I limit myself to, they have a series of cars that are called, I think the line is now called Icons. But so I've got a number of cars, like for the same reason that I can't buy all the Legos, can't buy all the cars that I want.
Yeah.
So I've got like a bunch of like model cars. I've got a Ford Mustang that's blue with a white racing stripe. The Mustang is my dream car, so I got close. I own a Bronco, so I'm like, Mustang adjacent.
Yeah.
The next car is probably going to be a Mustang that I get and keep in the garage, or maybe a classic one that I restore a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll get you to build a life-size Mustang out of Legos, and we'll just put some motors in it.
Yeah,
Like that's gonna
definitely.
we'll bridge the gap. So, all right. Well, so interesting. Appreciate you taking all this time to explain advertise. Love your energy, by the way. You're just like a very fun guy to talk to.
Thank you.
So yeah. So thank you for being a part of this. And for members who want to reach out to you, connect with you, the same way you connect two Legos together, what's the best way to get in touch?
Email is definitely the best way, followed by phone or text. But yeah, email is probably the best way to get in touch.
Okay. And what's your email?
It's my first name, Nishant Desai, @gmail.com.
So there we go. So reach out. We'll have it in the show notes as well, and we'll see you around the club.